Wake up, gamers, because you're listening to the Big Think Dimension with Dan and Bob Video Games. Bob, you can handle the intro this time.
Yeah, don't worry, I figured it all out.
Chris Wolfhard.
Mucha Shaka Paka.
And Dr. Agro.
Hey, Waka Waka.
Here on GigaBoots.
Bob, you really kind of bungled that whole thing.
I did.
I don't know why I let you talk me into that.
Bob's been a scam artist from the beginning. I don't know why you still trust the man. One time I lent him a heatsink and he auctioned it off at a convention.
Look, he's just got such kind eyes.
Fair enough. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Big Think Dimension number 235. More? No. Gaming news. Some things happened this week. For example, we're done with the Mario RPG month.
Woo!
So there you go.
Until they released a new version of Mario RPG.
That's
Mario
true.
RPG.
The Super Mario RPG?
Yes.
The Super one?
Yep.
They should have called the remake Ultra Mario RPG. You know, like Kirby Superstar Deluxe.
Right.
You need to put that name at the end to just be like, it's Ultra, bro. This is the version. We added a whole other mini game. You're gonna go to the blackjack thing and it's just gonna be like, oh, we got more. Check this out. Bob, I enjoyed, contrary to what chat showed up to a stream just yesterday and said, or was that 2 days ago?
I think that was 2 days ago now.
Whatever, everything's a blur. I enjoyed Paper Mario The 1,000-Year Door.
Good for you.
I'm not the biggest fan of Chapter 3, but I enjoyed the game. I don't know why chat showed up to tell me I didn't, but they sure did. So does that mean I have to... I mean, I can't just fight our audience on every issue. I guess I should just go with the flow, and I fucking hate that game. The 1,000-Year Door, more like the 1,000-Year Dump. What a piece of shit.
Dan, I'm so fucking disappointed in you. How did you fumble the fucking spike of more like the 1,000-Year Bore?
Right? I was waiting for it. I was trying to make it fit the initials. I'm sorry. God, now I'm going to have to... More like the 1,000-Year Bore.
No, stick to your guns. The alliteration is about standards.
I thought it was really neat. This month, excluding Super Mario RPG, because I feel like that's what you people want. Of the 3 other Mario RPGs we played, my favorite was Mario and Luigi. That was really good. The overworld having complex actions that you have to toggle through like 4 different actions, and then there's a different action for them being in the back. Maybe wasn't great by the end for that one aspect of the game, but overall, the art style, the music, the mechanics, I really love that one. I also really, really like Paper Mario The 1,000-Year Door. In a lot of ways, which means not all, yeah, I would say it's better than Paper Mario 64. But it is really weird how much the 1,000-Year Door very directly replicates Paper Mario 64. I'm going to explain this to Agro, which will help me talk to an audience of people who know dick all about this game. Hey, Agro.
Hey.
So Paper Mario The 1,000-Year Door came out on the GameCube. It's the second in that series. And in it is mechanically almost identical. You have a cast of allies you grab in the original game, partners that you grab in Paper Mario 64, a cast of like, oh, it's a Koopa that can do this kicking shell attack, and there's this ghost-like thing, and there are these other characters, and they all have a certain repertoire of skills and world map abilities that help you get through the dungeons and stuff. And for whatever reason, they threw away all those characters and then made identical characters for a lot of it, vibes-wise. And mechanically, where it's just like, what? That would be the way you differentiate and make this a new and fresh experience. Why do we have a different Koopa with us? Why did you get rid of Bo? Why would you ever do that?
Yeah, it feels like it felt a lot more like let's do mostly the same thing but refine everything. Like I feel like Goombella has much more character than Goombario
Yes.
Koops has much more character than Cooper in Paper Mario.
Mm-hmm.
But they are largely doing many of the same things.
And Vivian, trans icon outside of the United States, because Nintendo of America said this person's story is about being trans. Nah, her sisters hate her because question mark. Vivian's ability is very directly Bo's, where it's like, we'll make you disappear, so that way we can do a platforming. And we can do a sneak segment. We can have you hide underneath the thing rolling past you. And I'm like, why? Why can't you think of unique mechanics for this cool character?
Instead we took away the way you move faster on the overworld and gave you this dumb Yoshi instead.
Because there's an action command to jump on the Yoshi and then jump off. So imagine you have someone else in your party, because the person who is directly with you on the world map goes into the next battle. So you probably have someone you would prefer to bring in, because different people are better at attacking different types of enemies. So you get out of the battle and then you go, well, I guess I should hit the left on the D-pad to go straight to the partner menu, and then change out my partner for Yoshi, and then jump on Yoshi, and then move a little bit faster.
But then you can't jump.
So if there's one step...
No.
Yeah, that's...
Prison.
I was like, if only we could have put... L to run fast.
No, it's impossible. We don't have enough buttons on this controller. We're using literally no buttons on.
The weirdest part is I thought by the end of the game, L would have any function, but it didn't. It was real weird. So yeah, that part's weird. And so before we played this game, I do this thing with the audience. It's called mutual respect, but not accepting your opinion as my own. You should all practice it with every YouTuber you know. So... the audience, I saw a number of people during Paper Mario 64 were like, hey, this one's better than the sequel. And the reason why is the sequel has so much padding. And padding can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. Maybe it's just longer. There's a chance that it was longer and that person's like, it's not getting to what I like, so it's padding. Aggro. They were right. This game, literally every chapter's, I'm going to need you to run to the farthest point in this location and run all the way back here and then run to the farthest point again. And that's when you're lucky and it doesn't make you do it 2 more times.
Wow, that's how the entire first half of Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic is. Run all the way down this hallway, run all the way back, run all the way back down the hallway, run all the way back.
It was so transparent in that being what it was. It was kind of fucking unreal.
Like at a certain point, like lackluster game design is one thing, but there is a level of I need you to help me pretend that you're not doing this to me.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
It doesn't. It gives up the illusion entirely.
See, that's about respect.
Yeah. See, it's so funny how mad you guys were at chapter 3 when my whole life I've been like, yeah, everybody loves that chapter. That's everybody's favorite one in that game, because that's what the fans was.
Yeah.
I don't really know why.
You're like, that's everyone agreed, and we don't remember the meeting, but
Eric had the stance that, they're all fans of wrestling, which is insane. This was 2004, my man. Nobody who played Japanese RPGs was into wrestling at the time.
But Nintendo fans are a different breed.
There were a decent number, a decent cross section there. I think.
Yeah. I think it's rooted more in how it's so fucking different than anything else in the game, and even things in most RPGs.
Also, the prior gen, Nintendo had the best wrestling games on the 64, so that may have skewed things a little in their favor. But I also, that is an interesting theory.
I think there's like a certain appeal to a very specific sort of fan where it's like, it's the thing I know as a kid, but like upgraded in maturity 1 notch.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what Paper Mario, especially Thousand Year Door, where it's like you have Rogueport, you have this pirate city.
Mm-hmm.
The characters are much more distinct from like every NPC is like a more distinct version of a Nintendo thing.
Yeah.
So I think having the flying Battle Island, having so many NPCs having Rock Hawk. I think that's what makes it stay. I think that's what that kind of element is why I'm struggling really hard to come up with a name that isn't something that I shouldn't say. For this effect.
I mean,
let's call it the Kingdom Hearts effect, because it is like a similar thing, I think.
Okay.
Where it's like the Kingdom Hearts is like Disney, but upgraded to that, like more anime-ish, aimed at maybe like 12-year-olds type energy, and Thousand Year Door is like that, but with Mario.
Yeah. I like to explain to you what the Glitz Pit is, which is chapter 3 is nothing but what's wrong with you got some glitz on you in the Glitz Pit. Yeah. You may want to clean that off. Did you have any open wounds? We may need to. So anyway, the Glitz Pit is this battle arena, and you have to work your way up through the ranks, because it's clearly a for the audience, for televised, wrestling coded sort of fighting event, and there are shenanigans and scams going on at the top end. But here's the problem. You know how every game you've probably ever played that's like, you're gonna have to fight your way up through the ranks? That wasn't a game literally only concerned with that one notion. Doing that was like 6 battles at most. This was 20 fucking 4. So the plot just parks in Glitz Pit and goes, you better be really interested in Raw Cock, my man, because that's what Glitz Pits is all about.
I've heard this name a couple of times now, and I'm going to need to call for a spell check here.
Yeah, it's a chicken man.
Okay, so this is a hawk that has...
rock.
He's got rock.
Yeah, that's what I said, Raw Cock.
Right, this isn't like a sun god with his dick out.
No, it's Rock Hawk. He is
That's totally what I said the whole time, guys. What are you talking about?
Fuse Hulk Hogan with the Ultimate Warrior and make him a giant Birdman in a Mario game.
Yes. Fantastic. Yeah. It sounds amazing.
Yeah, no, and like I did like some of the things going on there. The problem is, would I have to do 24 battles to get through it all? And Paper Mario battles are actually a lot more.
They're some of the slowest JRPG battles around.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of every JRPG. Right, I was going to say I'm trying to think of every JRPG I know and battle speed and try to work out from there. They're shorter than Final Fantasy 16, but not massively. Yeah. So I don't know. Like that chapter I'm not a huge fan of. I was kind of bewildered by how much everybody loved it, but overall I really like a lot of the stuff going on. I didn't like getting trapped in the infinite Tsukiyomi at Taco Bell for almost the entire chapter. Like, I came in at the dungeon for the fucking tree and went, cool, Vivian's here. Who the fuck is this? What's going on? But yeah, that Taco Bell trip was fucking insane. It seemed like a riot was about to break out in that lobby. It went that poorly.
Okay, so this is actually a story about you leaving here going
to get Taco Bell for
I'm waiting to find out what in Paper Mario he is describing as a Taco Bell.
Well, they had a combination Paper Mario Taco Bell.
I wish that Glitzville section got off on a Taco Bell tangent.
Oh, that would have been so incredible. Good. Oh,
instead it was 4 hours of doing the same battle in the same arena.
It was pretty dire. But yeah, I like the characters in the game. Like, it's not like they replaced them with a bad cast. It just felt weird when a lot of their abilities were identical.
It drove me crazy as they saw the same writing problem in the first game. Like, the characters now join your party. That means they disappear from the story completely.
Right, and I feel like we explained this with Paper Mario 64 to Aggro, but in case we didn't, you have like 6 allies. They're cutscenes, except for one weird instance where it's very much bring out the right guy. The cutscenes are, you just have the cutscene with whoever was standing next to you. And so they wrote 7 versions of what they say, basically, for every dialogue past the point they're in the game. So it's just like, Vivian joined us, and then nothing really happened there for the rest of the game for Vivian until we pulled her out again. And then she seemed unaware of a thing she definitely should know.
Yeah, because she's in the situation of, like, she defected from the enemy side to Mario's side. So she should probably know where the enemy base is, because she's been there.
See, Paper Mario is very political. It's about sides and drama.
You say that, but if she's only been to that base because her dirtbag sisters pulled her through a shadow portal and she only saw the inside.
Okay, if we're thinking like a door to darkness that then opens into...
She should still know anything about the location at all, even the interior, and have some sort of insight into what this organization is.
I think
especially with the super late game reveals that they get into about who the sisters are.
That's true. That is true. I don't know though, because that part of the story doesn't really plug into like the moon base part of the story,
right?
Terribly. So being completely in the dark on the moon base makes sense. At that level of like, could have just teleported into the room, and I don't even know if that room had windows, and then they just teleported out. Because I think that he's right. I think that's exactly how that went. But it is just really bizarre to be like, did you not pay attention during the meetings? And Vivian's like, no, my sisters treat me like shit. I mostly just disassociate in the corner, and I'm like, fair. I still think that's fucking insane. They censored that. Because it's not even just America, or it is just America, rather. Other countries were... This is a trans character. So anyway, they had a really good replacement arc written for America, right? Why did her sisters hate her?
They're mean.
Well, she's the prettiest one, so... And they're the evil stepsisters, like in
From Cinderella.
Right.
Cool. The music in this is a flat upgrade over 64 for sure. It's not even close. There was no song in this that made me go bippity boppity boo. That made me bippity boppity more about. Yeah, I enjoyed this. I'm glad I got this experience with this month. And for people who are like, why are they not playing more? We just streamed 4 rather big for a single stream for 3 of them. RPGs in a row, week after week, while working on a gigantic video. And then I'm also doing the diet and exercise. I hit my limit. And on top of all of that, every game past here has a skull and bones sign in front of it. That's just like, look out, here be dragons.
Yeah.
Look, if you're sitting there being like, boy, I wish Dan and Bob would play Super Paper Mario, and you aren't explicitly wishing that to harm them.
Yeah, like...
If you like the game and would like them to play it, let me clarify, no, you don't.
Because we just went through these two.
Uh-huh.
Go ahead, Chris.
Okay.
I mean, like, Bob has repeatedly stated that the platforming in these games does not feel good. The two of them, while they have been relatively kind to the dialogue and writing, I feel like if suddenly that's the primary appeal of the game, they will be much less kind.
I don't know. Either it's good and it's an 18-hour stream that's fine, or it's horrible and it's an 18-hour stream that feels like my skin getting peeled off. I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say, everyone's like, oh man, these first 2 Paper Mario games are great, amazing. And I'm like, yeah, I feel like 7's kind of too high a service to those.
Oh.
So then coming to this is like, what is it?
What
is it? A 5? Is it a 3?
See, the funny thing is, I've seen people in our fan Discord who are like, Dan and Bob should take the opportunity to play this off stream, Super Paper Mario. And I'm just like, Bob did.
Fuck no.
When it came out.
Yeah, so did I when I was broke, and I still didn't beat it.
I was broke, and I still didn't beat it. Is a strong condemnation.
I got to like the second to last chapter, and I'm fucking done.
Oh.
Yeah, there's some other streamer who is apparently going through it and just quit around there, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, it was, if I remember correctly, it was Janked Jesus, formerly Kyle TX500, who Upside Down Matt was talking about. Yeah, I give him shit about that all the time that he quit that game. I was like, oh, that's scary as hell. That is scary as hell to hear he just dipped out of that entirely. But yeah, no, I really appreciate getting to experience these games and like have an understanding of them, because before I just looked at them and I'm like, no, I'm good. I kind of wanted more of this thing, and those are different flavors of thing, and they might be good and valid in their own right. I have no idea. I'm just not interested. And frankly, if they made a new Mario and Luigi, I'm basically there day one. And if they made a new Paper Mario, I'm like, I'm curious about the reviews.
They're still
Unless the
making new
trailer
Paper
looks good.
Marios. There was one not even that long ago that people insist up and down is fine. I'm like, until I see a Goomba with a funny hat and like some other kind of accessory normal Goombas don't have, I'm not coming back to this franchise. Luckily, we seem to be on the good timeline where Mario RPGs going forward might just be Super Mario RPG.
Right. Because for people who don't know, Mario and Luigi was made by the director of Super Mario RPG, and they're remaking Super Mario RPG. So there's a hope that maybe something going forward will continue that line.
Yeah, I wonder if they got him back for the.
I think they didn't. Yeah. I think they didn't, but I'm not sure. You know, we don't have credits.
Right, we don't have credits yet.
But I think something came out that said they didn't. Right. Oh, well. Aside from that, what did I play? Oh, yeah, Ring Fit. Dumbass. I am getting so fucking close to the end of that game. I swear to fucking God. It's like right there. And it's like,
does Ring Fit end?
Yeah.
I've never heard of that happening. People just
most people
go
dip out by
farther and
then,
farther down that rabbit hole, and you never hear from them again.
Yeah, they're just gone.
I assumed
forever.
it just consumed humans.
They get the dark power from Drago, and then they become a Scaly. That's what happens to every Ring Fit player. But my heart's too strong. I am much like Riku Kingdom Hearts. My heart's too strong to become a Scaly. If Furcadia didn't get me, I don't think Ring Fit is. Also, yes, there's a new game plus, but I'm really close to the actual fucking end of that game. That game is really good. Here's the problem, though. You go at it for 3 hours straight, burning 1,700 calories, doing an insane amount of these exercises, and then the next day your body goes, "No, we're good. You can do other shit, dude." And I'm like, I want to beat this game. I just like the exercise is cool and all, but I want to kill Drago. I'm here to kill that dragon.
Yep.
Bob, what did you play?
I played some Shinobi no Grata, which is a side-scrolling action ninja game.
That's you slice thin and cover it in cheese.
Yes. It's spelled Shinobi space NON space GRATA.
Yeah, non grata.
Yeah. It came out on Steam like a few months ago, but it finally hit PlayStation Network last night.
Okay.
This game's pretty neat. It kind of reminds me of Alien Soldier because it's got a lot of really small action levels, and then it goes into a boss fight.
Nice.
And you have like 5 different sub weapons you can switch between at any time that have different utility. Like one's a big gun that does the most damage in the game, but is really hard to line up because it just does a little bit of verticality in front of you instead of being anything you can do like an overhead swing.
Oh.
You have a lightning attack that like just homes enemies, and that ends up being super effective against some bosses. So you really, it is about trying all the different moves. And if you die, the checkpoint's before the stage. So you have to learn the mini stage and then the boss fight all in one go.
Okay.
So I've been having fun with that. It's like $15. It's probably going to be pretty short. I got to the final level last night, but I didn't finish it. And it does have a pretty decent, like, it keeps ramping up the difficulty pretty extremely near the end.
Well, that's polite to do it at the end. That's
right.
Nothing like Alien Soldier.
No. It does have just, like, the second boss or so is actually, like, stumping me for a little bit. But then after that, after figuring out, okay, no, I need to be trying all the different sub-weapons, not to trying to hit him with my basic sword attacks. It gives you extra points if you finish them with your sword, though. So it does have, like, point encouragement for this.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm liking it. It's got really nice art. It's all pixel art. Then a bunch of bosses. Like, I didn't, going to this, I did not expect it to be like, each stage has, like, 3 or 4 bosses in it. Mm-hmm. And it's, yeah.
That is Alien Soldier.
Yeah. Like, people generally shy away from making bosses because making a good boss is hard.
Mm-hmm.
But Alien Soldier was the strongest soldier.
Yeah, this isn't as good as Alien Soldier because Alien Soldier has tons of movement options that are a ton of fun to learn. And this kind of just has, you have a dodge roll, a sword attack, and you can do double jumps, and that's it. I guess you can also do a quick descent move, so you can get back to the ground really quickly if you're in the air, because your jump is kind of floaty in general. But that's it. You don't have like crazy side dashes and stuff like you do in Alien Soldier. It's more restrained. But yeah, that's pretty cool. I definitely suggest people check it out if they like Ninja Gaiden or Demon Sword or Alien Soldier.
Everybody loves Demon Sword. That's their favorite NES game. YouTube's saturated with reviews of Demon Sword.
Yeah, right.
You can't go to a retro gaming channel and not hear about Demon Sword.
Yeah, Joe from GameStat brings it up every episode. I wish he would stop.
It's his new green dog.
The only other thing I've been playing is Street Fighter 6. Actually had a chance to sit down, go through more of the story modes, and get Ryu up to gold rank.
Ooh.
Which that means I started to learn what fighting E Honda is like.
Ooh.
Because that's when they start appearing.
Right, of course.
What was it somebody said? Somebody said parrying the headbutt could cause an instant round loss for E Honda, and they'd still keep doing it.
Yes. It is concerning fighting that guy, because most characters, after they do their special, like if they just throw it out willy-nilly, they can get punished easily. Like basically all of Cammy's and Ryu's, like Shoryukens and stuff, you were just open.
Yeah.
You're right next to them. You can do all sorts of stuff. E Honda bounces off when he does the headbutt.
Yeah, so he gets a clearance backwards.
Right, and also when he does his overhead...
Blanca.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
When he does his butt stomp, too, he also bounces back after that is blocked.
Oh, that's...
Or pushes you away enough so you can't do anything. So you do have to parry them if you want to do any sort of follow-up to counter them. And that just leads to them doing it constantly.
All I'm hearing is Eric would simply just parry.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, why aren't you drive rushing, Bob?
I'm not sure if it can go through that. I think he bounces back and then can just hit you after you drive rush. I'm not 100% sure though.
Surely they're left minus after you block it.
No, not that I could tell. I'm not like some pro, but I feel like they are not. So that's been fun to learn about.
Cool.
But that's pretty much it for what I've been playing. Not much else.
I wanted to touch on a couple of things I've been playing before, if that's okay with everyone.
All right.
So I played Until You Fall again. That, for people who don't know, that's the sword fighting roguelike game in VR, where you level up. You have a number of different weapons you can use, left hand, right hand, simultaneously, like scimitars, giant maces, etc. Came back to that, ramped up the difficulty, tried out a few different things, and went, man, first run that succeeded me, got this perfectly. You use the Knight's Crest in your left hand to buff your fucking guard damage with your scimitar, and then you just tear them up with it. That game is fun, and I still enjoy doing runs in it. Now, this session I'm about to talk about was the exact day after I did that insane 3-hour Ring Fit thing, so I needed to play anything else. I got back into Drums Rock. I put up a clip on Twitter to show why I will never be playing this game again. Drums Rock, it happened to me multiple times as I was beating the game, and I'm like, it's fine. It's not that consistent, right? It was just 2 freak accidents as you can see in the Twitter clip, I am drumming insanely fast, and all of a sudden I start missing notes, and my hands are going to the correct places in real space, and I'm just fucking confused. And then I drop dead and look to the right and see my hand frozen in space holding the drumstick. And I'm like, yeah, I don't ever
that would make me instantly never play that game again.
Right, I'm done now. I'm just done. I can't even enjoy a game that's going to do that to me. Like, I don't know how you could. It seems impossible to engage even at a just enjoyment level. I'm not like score chasing or anything. It's just, I don't want to play 2 minutes of a song and die because my arm froze up in space.
Is that the Unity one?
Yes.
Okay.
A lot. I think even Until You Fall's Unity as well. I don't know. Maybe there is a Unity attachment there. But then again, Agra, as I was describing this issue with the hand freezing in space, you were saying that also happened to you in what was it? The Horizon Call of the Mountain.
Call the Mountain.
Yeah, that had happened to me in Horizon Call of the Mountain.
It didn't so much freeze as it hung on geometry.
Yeah.
And couldn't deal with the fact that it needed to be here, but it was over here.
Yeah.
And it couldn't pathfind through solid objects.
See, and I thought that was it for Drums Rock. But the one in the Twitter clip, I am well above the drum head. There's nothing that could have clipped. That happened to me in Call of the Mountain the exact same way you're describing. But since Call of the Mountain's like you're climbing now, there's no action. It's okay, you're safe. I didn't have any problems. I just held on to the rock cliff for a second, went, okay, good, I got my hand back. It's not experience ruining like being insanely far into an intense song and then just dying. So I'm done with that game forever and uninstalling it right after this podcast, which means I'm on the hunt for another VR game. Dr. Aggro, do you have another VR game?
I just might.
Oh my God. What have you been playing?
I have been playing Walkabout Mini Golf. I don't know if VR is actually part of the title.
I think VR is in the title. I think. I'm putting it there. What's the deal with Walkabout Mini Golf?
It is a mini golf game, which is why I ignored it as long as I did.
Oh, really?
Because it kept showing up in like lists, and I'm like, oh, they put a golf game in here. Cool. This game has 10 polygons, and why is everybody floating heads?
Because it's secretly Mark Zuckerberg's mini golf game. No.
But then someone on Twitter pushed the secret button and said, there's DLC where you can play mini golf on Mist Island.
Yeah.
And I don't care how bad a game is. If it's got Mist DLC, I'll fucking buy it. Good news for me, though. It turns out it's a pretty great mini golf game.
That's great.
Got nice physics, really low poly presentation, real stylized, but within that it has in the way that only VR games do, and especially because it's not going for super high-end graphics and missing, because it feels like a theme park.
Yeah,
it feels like it's all weird molded plastic.
Right.
It has an incredible sense of presence. Where you're in a place. That is until you hold your golf club straight up in the air and push forward on the stick and start flying, and then no clip turns on and you can just careen through all the geometry. The game doesn't give a fuck. There might be a point of me flying out past the edge of the level where the game will start to care. I have not found it.
Cool. That's awesome.
So the game's like $15.
Okay.
Starts out with 2 courses.
Well, that's not the real price. How much does the Mist DLC cost on PSVR 2?
The DLC all seems like it's like $2-3.
Oh my
per
God.
Course.
That's
not bad.
No, that's not bad at all.
Like I said, it starts with the 2 courses, which is really kind of 4 courses, because every hole there is a hidden golf ball with a different design, just scattered somewhere in the set dressing. And if you find enough of them on the easy course, it unlocks the hard course, which is the same area, but it's at night, and they change up the courses.
Huh.
That's awesome.
And all of the hard mode courses have scavenger hunts.
How did you scavenger?
Like, you go to the first hole, and there'll be like a piece of paper, and you collect it, and you look at your hand where all your course information is. It'll be like, you're on this hole, you have this many strokes, this is par, and it'll give you a clue for some other area in the level. They're like, you got to figure out what it's talking about. Go there and find the next clue.
That's pretty neat.
God.
It is. And if you do that, you get a new putter.
Do they have different stats or just aesthetic?
No, they're just aesthetic.
Oh, that's good.
I did this twice in the Mist level. I got a serious themed putter, and then I went back and, because Mist has multiple endings.
Right.
And then I got a Denis themed putter, and I need to go back and do it again, and I'm pretty sure I can get an Akinar one.
That's really fucking cool.
I have done a lot more fucking around looking for golf balls and doing scavenger hunts than I have played golf. It's a lot of fun.
Oh my God.
I will also say this is the first time that a game has taken the guardrails off enough to cause me to experience VR sickness.
Really?
Because as I said before, you can just point your golf club up in the sky and just fly away.
Right, like Mary fucking Poppins.
So I'm no clipping through geometry. I'm on the mist level. I'm near the big tree that moves up and down. I'm trying to like get under it, and I'm spinning one way with the stick, and I'm turning the other way physically while flying through geometry and just going. What is this strange feeling that's mounting? Oh no. Because they're right when they tell you VR sickness, by the time you start feeling it, stop. Because it's gonna keep getting worse for a while. So I was just sat on my couch staring at my headset going,
A fucking mini golf game, dude.
Yeah.
That's the shocking
I just
part.
went back in and like turned the turn speed down a couple notches, and
Well, we could just put him through what was it, the Joe test, and then just hook him up to Star Wars, or the Eric test, and hook him up to Star Wars and turn on smooth turn and see if anything happens.
see, I love smooth turn. I love it to death. I think it was the combination of flying, moving physically in the opposite direction, and clipping through geometry.
I actually have a weird motion sickness like thing that's happened a couple times, and until you fall, and it took me a long time to figure out what was happening and why. A lot of VR games where you look, the joystick maps forward to that. That is true, and until you fall. However, if you start turning from the moment you started pushing that, it will not remap forward to your new forward. So I would be in combat and trying to slowly move and then see an enemy and try to attack him. And I'm now looking this way, pushing forward. My brain's expecting to move towards him. But because I never fully moved the stick back to neutral, I'm sliding this way and then hitting a wall I can't see. And since the wall's curved, I'm now bumping and sliding in a weird way that is not the direction I'm pushing the stick. And that's actually gotten me mildly a couple times.
I feel like I've had that exact situation come up in something else we played. I don't know what, though.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was either. It may have been Star Wars.
It might have.
I think like Star Wars has a lot of things where that sort of thing can occur, where you're like, I want to get closer, but there's an invisible wall that's curved. And as you try to get closer, you just move sideways and back a little and go, oh, no.
Let me tell you what forward is in Walkabout Mini Golf. Forward is the direction your club is pointing.
Ooh.
At all times.
Ooh.
There is no back, because you pull the stick back and you get like the tractor beam, which is how you pick up lost balls.
Oh.
So you move forward.
Okay.
And you either point the thing behind you to move back, or you sort of like do the big turn to get back around to what you wanted.
Does this game have snap turns?
Yes, you can turn on snap turning. You can do the smooth turning. You can either teleport or you can walk normally. There's a you pull the trigger and it'll basically teleport you from wherever you are to where your ball is on the next hole. And there's settings for that, for how far you want it to snap you away from it. There's settings for what angle your club is compared to the thing. There's settings for how strong or fast it should interpret your swing to power on the ball.
I really appreciate that setting of like what angle is the thing at relative to the controller, because I played Pistol Whip on the Quest 2 on my PC and it was just wrong based on my experience playing it on the PSVR 2, and that's when I first saw that menu.
Yeah, that was the first thing I changed on that menu. It was like, hooray!
Yeah. Yeah, that seems like an interesting way to solve that. Just the pointing the stick and then moving in that.
Especially when you're flying around.
Which is cool
and I
as
can't
shit.
wait to see it, because like this game has multiplayer, it has crossplay with PC. I cannot wait to see one of these single-hand avatars lift a golf club to the sky and then just Ultraman away.
Swatch!
It's like fucking Thor.
Yeah, straight up. It's so good.
That is really hype. I am absolutely picking that up after this podcast.
One weird thing I noticed, which pissed me off when I noticed it. The version of Myst that is in this game is the VR version. I know because some of the handles are different for VR. It's that VR version that isn't on the PSVR.
Oh,
Yeah, they haven't ported it yet. I feel like it's inevitable.
I thought this was just gonna be you angry over it's bad.
I thought about it briefly of like, this isn't the real Myst. This is VR
right.
Myst. Like, oh no, this makes perfect sense. That's really funny. I wish I could have played that game.
I feel like it's inevitable because, contrary to what some people out there may say, I disagree. I think Sony's relatively lining up month after month these small to big sort of VR games and experiences. I feel like Myst, which showed up on the fucking PSP of all places, is inevitable to show up on PSVR 2 with the VR version.
Yeah, it'd just be weird if it didn't.
It would be just completely
Like
bizarre.
if there is a divide, like everybody makes the joke about running Doom on random shit, but every time you go to do that, you have to move the Myst icon out of the way first.
Yes.
Yeah, Myst, Doom, and Resident Evil 4. They're on literally everything.
Yep. Did you play anything else?
Nope.
Okay.
Too much golf.
I'm so full from golf. Yum.
Fucking hate that water tower. There's a water tower with a hole in it. You got to like knock the ball over a ramp into the water tower, and it can suck my dick.
Wow, now that's a feature. Chris, what have you been playing?
So, I finished Final Fantasy IV. That game's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I had this weird realization playing that and 6, where I'm like, disc loading kind of improved the turn-based RPG genre, because now the fights had to last longer than 13 seconds, and they also couldn't happen every other step.
True.
Because the thing I experienced a lot playing Final Fantasy IV, not as much in 6, but still a little bit there, was I've gone 3 steps. Fucking come on.
Yeah.
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 So I think it's interesting that like they were forced to get sober by, well, a battle means you're spinning up the CD, you're loading in a bunch of different shit.
Mm-hmm.
And when you go back, you're loading. So fights should it's not hard to see enemies started having way more fucking health in like Final Fantasy VII versus the SNES ones.
Mm-hmm.
Like all you have to do is look at like secret boss in Final Fantasy VI, 60,000 health. Final secret boss in Final Fantasy VII, 700,000 health.
Yeah, those are real long-term engagements.
Yeah, Final Fantasy IV is real cool. It's amazing how many things that were just in the series forever started there.
Uh-huh.
And there's all these little cool parts where it's like it's like them flexing. They're no longer on the NES, where it's like you're out on the world map and you see it's almost cartoonish because you're going to the castle where you meet Edward. And you pause right before you get there, and airships appear and just carpet bomb the castle and keep going.
Yeah, it's great.
It's like there's none of that shit on the regular Nintendo.
I'm sure Final Fantasy III accomplished that on the NES, and none of us know. You didn't play it.
No, I played the DS version.
You remember any carpet bombing?
No.
But the big thing I threatened Dan with, though, where I was gonna play Final Fantasy IV the After Years and force him to confront what's in that. I'm not doing that right now, at least.
Yay!
Because I was like, no, I gotta play some Trails into Reverie before Armored Core comes out.
Thank God.
That's something I actually want to play instead of something that I feel like they were a flip phone games delivered episodically. Why am I trying to submit myself to those?
Because you want to consume sewage and baby bird it into my mouth. That is what you declared last week.
I did do the interlude. I was committed until I did the interlude, which is just nothing. It's like 3 hours long. It's nothing. It uses all enemies and assets from Final Fantasy IV, and I'm like, oh, that's what that sequel's gonna be. where I'm just going through the exact same areas and fighting mostly the same bosses even, I bet. No, thank you. We're not going to be doing that.
No, what you want is that Turks game for old phones.
I mean, even I want that. Like, I want that more than Final Fantasy IV. The after years, that's
maybe,
not hard.
Yeah, no, maybe there's not like a pre-made thing for them to just copy,
right?
Maybe there'd be some incredibly funny thing where Kane's even more of a cuck. But
that might be there.
But no, I'm sorry, it's not worth it. Maybe when I've completely run out of things I wanted to do in my life. So I played some Trails into Reverie.
I'm sorry, one moment. I've never had so much writing on someone else having a sense of purpose in my entire fucking life. Go ahead. How's that going?
That game's really great. You definitely shouldn't start there, because the first thing that happens in the game is you basically go talk to every single character that's been in every game made in the past 20 years and check up on them after the events of Trails of Cold Steel 4, because this is like the bridging game that's going to bridge those series to the ones that aren't out yet in English. Because like each chunk of games is in a different country that are all in the same world. Man, you know what's great? When RPGs have fully developed areas and you can go in every building and the inside of every building is well designed and you can talk to the NPCs and they have interesting things to say, and the characters in your party will chime into conversations with normal NPCs and offer their insights. That's really cool. I
think it's unhealthy for the industry for you to be setting standards like this for other devs that can't accomplish things like this.
Yeah, Falcom's just too big. They have too much money.
Too much money!
Just so much funding.
Plus, they got to sell it early to the Japanese, which gave them more funding to develop it for even longer. This analogy works totally.
But yeah, I can't really talk about the story because it literally involves all these fucking characters from the past bunch of games. But it sure is be like, oh right, there is a better future we could be having.
Yes.
No, Jake's graphics. Nothing else.
Nothing else.
Condemn it all.
You know what? No one's ever been bored by pretty graphics in a bad game. We should keep chasing that.
Did you guys similarly? Did you guys watch the new Sakurai video about bug testing?
No, I haven't had time.
It's basically like, guys, games can't get more complex than they are right now.
Yeah.
Like,
we're watching everyone find that out by exploding.
But he literally says, like, bug testing Smash Ultimate was a nightmare. We basically couldn't bug test to the standard we wanted because there was so much shit in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, Aggro, Trails of Cold Steel 1 is on sale on PSN right now for $20. I think you should tap in to this franchise.
Okay. So
you're man.
Okay, so you're a black-haired youth.
All right.
You're in post, like, right before World War II fantasy Germany.
Always nice.
You use a katana.
This is not good.
Are we sure it's a katana?
Yes, because your master was a wandering swordsman from the east.
Oh, that's so good. Keep going.
and you're going to military school that is joint the nobles and the common folk. And the nobles are shitting their pants because industrialization is eating into their power base like crazy.
No, that sucks. I hate being here for this.
I'm fucking in.
No!
Where does this land in? I have no idea what this series is or how old this one is.
This was the first one that was on the PS3. They ported it up to PS4.
Nice.
And it looks like an upgraded PSP game.
Yeah,
it was on a Vita. It was on the Vita.
Yeah, that's perfect.
The first two were Vita games, and then 3 and 4 were on consoles. They look much nicer.
It looks like a Vita game, and you're just the Giga Chad perfection.
That's like the Vita is like I got a Vita. I'm like, this is what all RPGs should be on this thing forever.
Yeah,
that's all I want in the universe.
They tried their best. They really did. Where they're just like, backport the Persona, like bring all this shit over. We gotta.
But considering our mutual love of trashy isekai animes, I do think that like fusing that with we're speed running the 20th century and are also in some ways kind of like Gundam. It'll really hit.
Ooh. Trails. Just pull up the Sony app real quick.
Yeah, I remember I picked up the physical version years ago. I just haven't had time to play it.
Really?
Of the PS4 version?
Yeah.
You're lucky because Nisa, no, not at Nisa, that's still Xseed. Xseed doesn't like pub printing fucking copies of those, so you have to buy it digitally if you want it, pretty much.
So, Bob, would you like to make an absurd amount of money with this copy of this game you have?
You might make $90.
$90?
Oh my god!
Wow, that'll buy you a fancy copy of Immortals of Aveum coming out Tuesday.
Not quite as good as my retirement plan of selling the Super NT.
No, not as good. Man,
but yeah, that game's it was so great because you get to walk all around the city, the big city that was the primary setting of the middle set of games. And it's like, oh, there's so much content. Look at all these people you can talk to and have interesting conversations. This is basically right after the end of World War II in this setting. We're basically setting up for the space race. This is delightful. But yeah, I'm not super far. I also played some Paper Mario myself, specifically Paper Mario 64, The 1,000-Year Door.
I knew it. I was like, but it's not going to be normal. It's going to be that mod. How is it?
It is a mod that adds 1,000-Year Door quality of life features and mechanics into Paper Mario 64. So your party members have HP now. They added all the items and badges from 1,000-Year Door to 64.
Correct me if I'm wrong. They removed the badge point cap. I think I saw that in that trailer, and I was like,
yes, they did that. They added a bunch of little secret areas that is the ways you get those badges, those extra badges.
Oh,
huh.
They changed some moves, like Parakarry has that fucking useless move where he just pulls an enemy out of the battle.
Mm-hmm.
Now it steals an item they're holding if they're holding one.
Oh, that's way better.
Yeah, so I guess they added enemies holding items.
Yeah, they would have to. Yeah.
They add difficulty modes. You can pick normal, hard, or super hard. I started on hard and had to kneel and go to normal because hard I could deal with. I played the hard mode mod already. Hard with them having items I could not deal with. Because you go into a fight and the dude because early in the game you don't really have ways to hit guys way in the back if they have spikes on their heads.
Yeah.
So you go into a battle with 4 spiked Goombas and the one in the back has a fucking item that'll put you to sleep for 4 rounds.
Ooh.
I can deal with that on normal difficulty. I can't deal with that on the difficulty where they have more health and do more damage. That's scary.
God, now I'm remembering all that stuff that apparently we ran into. A lot of people didn't in 1,000-Year Door, where the random chance in battles sucks.
Okay, so Aggro, we really should have explained this earlier, but we didn't. One of the larger changes between Paper Mario 64 and the 1,000-Year Door is that they are playing up the it is a stage play aesthetic, and now there's an audience and random shit. So lights from the rafters can fall on your characters randomly and damage them, but we got the most deranged RNG I have ever seen in an RPG during a boss fight against a pirate on a ship. Randomly, we got frozen by spouts in the stage 3 times?
I think it was 4 times in a row.
It was a bunch of times.
And when you're frozen, you're just fucked.
Yeah, you can't do anything.
And so they just kept pummeling on us. And the audience is just like, what the hell is happening?
The closest I could figure out, it was a combination of you guys preferring to use attacks that make it more likely to trigger and bad RNG. Because apparently anything that seems like it would heavily shake the stage, like a strong hammer hit,
Right.
quake hammer, bobbery exploding.
I was going to ask
all
if this
of those
was responsive to anything at all.
The shit falling seemed responsive to that. I genuinely don't.
The frozen thing happened. We didn't even get to attack, so it wasn't for that.
Right. We just had the world's worst RNG. Somebody in chat made the joke of, this is what speedrunners call completely unprecedented.
and then there were other ones where it spray mist into the arena, and then everything would be hard to hit. Like both enemies and allies would have a hard time hitting stuff. So it would just make every battle take twice as
awful.
long. Yeah, and it just kept spraying. Like it'd be that we started a battle and just spray.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that was a weird mechanic. But so far you're really enjoying the mod, and did it add those freezing you randomly mechanics?
No, it did not add the stage things.
Weird.
Thank God.
Strange.
It's almost like the community knows what was good and what wasn't.
It does add the Daffy ducking though, because that's a new way for you to get the star power. In that
Good.
game.
I like that mechanic. It's really funny to like slam a hammer on someone's head and then just do a bunch of Daffy Duck backflips to get the studio's favor, the audience's favor.
They also add in a mode that I might play it a second time to use, which is bow mode. She's the only partner you have and is apparently stronger.
They are so smart.
They are.
They're so smart.
They also give you action commands immediately instead of you having to play for 3 hours before you get them.
Of course.
Yeah.
They also give you the option to start from the point the game actually starts, where you fall off the balcony and have to go with the old man and get the hammer.
Good.
Oh wow.
They also give you a fast forward dialogue button.
Oh wow. Very helpful in a game where the writing often repeats itself 2 to 4 times.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's all these secret little areas you can be like, I see like a sparkle back there. Can I get back there? And you can get back there. And they changed the upgrading people from hitting one block to collecting shines again. You got to collect shines and take them to the shaman.
In theory, that makes it easier to get going because you don't need to find one thing. So there are 3 times as many things you could find.
Right, and you don't need to make the decision when you find it. You can just hold on to it until.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so far I'm having a lot of fun with that mod. I'm excited to see the deranged things they'll do. I'm also excited to have more than 30 badge points.
Did they change the music at all? They got
yes, they replaced most of the songs with songs from Thousand Year Door.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Evergrace, and I would go, yeah, thumbs up, big improvement.
What RPG could not be improved by the Einhander soundtrack?
Right, yeah, let's do it.
Some of the conversions to the N64 sound font are not perfect, but it's still better than most of the music in Paper Mario 64 default.
A high bar.
I also played a little bit of 30XDX. I
did that too. You go first.
I don't know. I only played like 3 runs. I did real good in all of them. I kept hitting a wall because it kept putting the level where the gimmick is you turn upside down really late.
Oh.
And since that gimmick shatters my fucking mind apparently, and I lose the ability to do anything, that being the most difficult level I have to do is not great. So I died all 3 times on that level because they kept putting it as level 8.
So, having had that experience, how soon are you going to try to get the thing that lets you tell it what you want to fight early on levels wise?
I don't know. That seems like it isn't true strength.
I mean, that's how I feel about it, but others disagree.
It's not about proving anything to other people. It's about proving things to myself and the Uncle Sakai in my mind.
Yes.
The Uncle Sakai whose head is poorly pasted onto Jiren's body is telling me that wouldn't be true strength.
I figured I would just poison them. That wouldn't be true strength. Have you always looked like that, Uncle?
Yes. I'm sorry, El Hermano. I will be sure to defeat this game with true and honorable strength.
God, I'm just imagining Uncle Sakai with an elongated head. It's horrible. Yeah, I did a small stream with Voxandra from voxandra.gay where we played 30XX co-op, and it was shockingly easy to set up, really fast, super fun. They didn't make the mistake a lot of cowards and idiots do of, oh, you're co-oping? You can't both get progress from that. Only the host gets progress.
Seriously, I don't know who came up with that ass backwards idea, but I hope they're in hell now.
Oh, good. You disincentivize me enjoying my game with my friend. Yeah. You fucking idiot. They don't make that mistake. Vox and I both got the memorial, which is that's the currency you unlock the future run upgrades on. It also did other stuff like the data logs and stuff were rolled independently for our version, so that way I would get new data log stuff on mine and Vox would get it on hers. I was shocked by how good this was, because as Vox and I were talking about setting up the stream, I'm like, this shit's gonna fucking burst into flames live, and that's gonna be funny. This shit's just gonna stop working at a point. We're gonna have to stop the stream because I didn't have a huge expectation. Plenty of people out there fuck up online co-op. Even the great Keiji Inafune messed it up with Mighty Number 9.
Who could have guessed?
It's not reasonable to expect everyone to be as good as Keiji Inafune, so I thought, surely the co-op in 30XX won't be drastically better than the online battle race mode in Mighty Number 9. That is definitely a thought I had and a normal thing to think. 30XX is a really good game. I like when you break the game and the screen just fills with giant green projectiles anytime you hit the shoot button.
Oh, that's how you do it.
This is really good. Fantastic game. I definitely need to play more to get more memorial and story stuff to hopefully at some point collect all the things on a single run to get the ending.
Is that something you have to do on every run, on a single run?
I think it's all on a single run. You have to assemble a thing. I'm not incredibly hellbent on that. I'm okay just playing the game and unlocking more progress stuff and just having fun with it. God knows Fox and I at some point are going to do more co-op on that. I don't know if we'll stream it, but that was a fun stream. Should be up on the VOD channel at some point, so go check that out. Chris, what else did you want to talk about with 30XX?
That's it. I mean, it's the same cool game. It feels really good to play. It has nice music.
Yeah, it does. I've been listening.
I did that intro level because I hit the yes, let me start over entirely. I would like no progress.
Mm-hmm.
They sure did have a joke that made me roll my eyes in that tiny little intro level.
Yeah, they didn't have much there, and they still did that. Yep.
What is up with Mega Man fan games doing that? I feel like every one of them has something like that.
Oh man, I forgot about that one that came out earlier this year that I didn't even touch.
Yeah.
I have to go do that now.
I guess.
I'm sold down to Mega Man.
What game is that?
That's the one that originally started. We're doing our own Legends, or not.
Or maybe
we made Mega Man X7 again. I need to check that out.
Yeah, I feel like at some point I'm going to have to become one of those con artists that sell online classes, and it's like, how to write comedy for your indie game that doesn't make people want to claw their skin off.
Uh-huh. It's like you have to sell it as a book, and it has to be a parody of the Save the Cat cover art. So you need to do something like that. Like, isn't this a funny version of that? But anyways,
you're going to sign up for my class, and you're going to wake up in a jungle covered in mud. And if I see you trying to wink at the audience, I'm going to throw a javelin at you.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's a good system.
That's a good filter. Well, is that all you played?
Yep.
I think that means we need to talk about
the pod that came out this week.
The what?
The podcast that came out this week.
Oh, that's right. A podcast came out this week. It was Pokemon, right?
Yeah, Darkrai, right?
Yeah, it was Darkrai. Yeah, Darkrai is really cool. It's so cool. Also, I appreciate something you may hear about a little bit. Patrons of the GigaBoots Podcast Network got to enjoy the Shaman movie.
Shaman.
Yeah.
I think between the Podlord jokes and us, we've all reached an agreement on Shaman. Maybe, who knows? We'll find out live. But yeah, that Pokemon movie with Darkrai is really funny as it plays musical cues that are like Batman animated series. And I'm like, why are you doing this?
Because we can.
There's a goth kid standing on top of a castle. It's like Batman. I'm like, no. Anyways, please enjoy that episode of Pokemon Go to the Movies and the Podlords.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, fuck. Shaman?
Yes, that's right. The Podlords. Podlords such as BN12. Lee Broyles. Bountiful blessings to you all. No.
Thank you, Jinkaria.
Red Place 27. Suzushiro. Cat.
Nice.
Well,
101 Shades of Wonderful Remastered. WTF Spider-Man. Mr. I Like Spam. I'm baby.
So that's how a Yoshi would wear pants.
Yeah, apparently we know now. DFW 3K. Muckbun. Shiny Mew has entered Paldea and is approaching Larry's location rapidly. I will buy this man some jelly donuts.
Classic.
Kristen. Half melted Juicifrost.
It is pretty hot.
It sucks so bad.
yeah.
Kyle Bjork. Haha! Yes! Ponder me! Also, Aggro, what you have to do is just play The Last Candle at a really low volume every recording session.
What the fuck?
I don't ask questions, I move on. Monster Hunter Ryzen and Raiden? That's Ryzen and Raiden. Could you imagine? Hollow Cure update out now! A new level, 9 new characters, and mini games, all still totally free. Jesus.
Yep.
Damn.
Those people are crazy.
Yeah. I think it's that one dude is crazy.
Yeah, it might just be.
Now, I don't know anything about this lady on the screen, but is she holding a chakram inside of which is a worm with arms?
Yeah, pretty much. You got it in one.
Jesus.
I think that might just be a size indicator, though. It's very small.
Oh!
Or rather, she is very big.
One of these two things is true, and I don't want to know which. Cooper Tank. We are hungry. No. This is the strongest power couple that has ever been.
Oh,
Yes. I want to see that
Despicable.
movie.
Despicable.
Oh my god. Absolutely.
The entire movie would be everybody trying to stop Ichigo from killing Shaman.
Like, Shaman just says whatever Shaman wants to do, and she goes along with it because she's an idiot.
Now, Shaman, this would be one of those movies where Ichigo doesn't act anything like himself, and he's like, "Now, Shaman, you shouldn't act brashly without informing your friends of what you're gonna do."
even Colin would be upset at Shaman.
I want to see Ash throw down with a hollow.
Ooh.
Get them aura powers out.
Yeah, get the aura powers out. The Ochi grows impatient. He's held the pigment for 2 weeks. They are wilting. Please take them. Indigo Sykes. Drive typecast. What chance does love have against the 1% anyway? Congrats, Team Money, but you don't need it because you win everything. Evil Lucario. A raccoon that had been playing some TF2 recently. Plan. Bout dark.
Oh God!
Oh my God!
What is wrong with you?
How did you take a joke this old and make it so much older?
Baldur's Gate 3 is consuming Lock the Chest time. Unrelated, here's Karlosh, my beloved. Cool.
Thank you.
You hear a photo shutter going off like a camera shutter. The Super Mim. Alicia, this is what you wanted, right? This is the promise I made to you. Sarlene. Timothy Fister. Bearded Joe. Pleochrome. Krunglespum. Grand Blue finally made a character that had Viren saying, maybe we should let this one die, Captain. No, please don't shake the bowl of guacamole.
Shake it.
Shake it.
Gonna break my Wiimote. I'm shaking it so much. The Empire has fallen. Billions must die.
It is what it is.
Dan, upon discovering just how many names he has to recite for future Pokemon Go to the movies.
Okay, but you need that other picture of Buggy. You know the one.
Dan, making his way towards some kneecaps in the 1,000-year door. God, that got unhinged.
Peach will never walk again. It's really
that's
sad.
really tragic. Dog.
Hell yeah.
Thank you.
That's a cute dog. And
Doggo.
Saber, thank you very much to our taco lords.
Thank you, Taco Lords.
Thank you,
Thank you, Taco Lord. I don't have anything for them, so I'll just talk about the Pod Lord.
Sure.
If you'd like to become a Pod Lord, you can go to our Patreon at patreon.com/GB Podcast. For as little as $5 a month, you get access to many benefits, such as early access to Pokemon Go to the movies, where you can find out about the war criminal shaman, and Chugging Bleach, where you can find out about the war criminal known as the replacement Captain Amagai arc. You also get extended cut content from other shows we do, extended and cut content from other shows we do. And you get a patron exclusive show every other month on a good thing, and you get a commentary track for a bad movie every other month of a bad thing. Coming up is going to be Wolverine Origins. Is that the fucking name of that movie?
It sounds right.
X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Wolverine.
X-Men Origins Wolverine. A movie we're doing because of the writer's strike. We have to remind people what happened the last time there was a writer's strike.
Yep.
Good God, let it be over 2 months from now so we don't have to do the thing that would come after X-Men Origins Wolverine, which I will not speak into reality on this show.
Yeah.
You also get a movie, Isolation 119. It is a literal, actual movie about a man going to Thailand to solve the injuring of his brother. But mostly he just gets into fights with the locals and hangs out and drinks beer. And he brought his PC so he could play League of Legends.
But then it broke, so he breaks it.
Yeah, he gets harassed by a member of Organization 13 with the voice of Microsoft Sam.
It's true. All of this is true. What a great movie. I need to watch it again.
But that's patreon.com/GB Podcast. And if you don't have any money, it always helps us immensely to spread the word. Retweet us going live on Thursdays. Rate us on Thursdays before Twitch removes that feature. Rate us on your podcast app of choice. And like this video on YouTube right now if you're watching that way. That's patreon.com/GB Podcast.
We've got some news.
There's so much. What are you talking about?
I said some.
Would you say that we have a plethora?
No, I would not. Man. So the most important news, and I think we should put this out front, is the Xbox 360 marketplace, as in the online digital store for games on the 360, is going to be shut down July 29th next year, which says we should maybe raise a ruckus about it, so that way
get the
maybe
hammers.
at some point Microsoft goes, oh shit, it's just like when Sony did it.
Yeah, we were Sony enough to stop. Maybe we can do it with Microsoft.
Now, say for a moment you don't care, but you like our content. Well, guess what? We care. And we've actually bought multiple games off of that store to do content with.
Yeah.
Like Dead Rising. Like we did for Analog Gaming. There are multiple reasons that's important. So get pissed, gamers. Moving on from that.
Yeah, I think someone's even compiling a list of like everything that's only available on there. Because there's a lot of stuff that's like didn't get a physical release, didn't get re-release on Xbox Series.
It's not back compatible on future consoles, which Microsoft's like, don't worry, guys, the back compatibility works. And it's like, no. Like, for a lot of that, that's like, I want to see numbers. I want to know the stats on how many games are disappearing forever. We had some patent news, and then we had some patent news that wasn't new news. I'm going to talk about the patent news that was actually new news. Sony has a patent. It is for implementing high bandwidth connections for storage at a server level. This is seemingly for the PS5s, because as you know, one of the hallmark features of the PlayStation 5 is that it has insanely fast storage. So compared to other platforms, when you want to run a server cloud-oriented thing of this, how do you maintain that bandwidth and not give every system the world's largest SSD to have that many games installed on those instances? And the solution is you come up with a completely insane cloud-based thing where it's like, we developed a new connector and a new connection and everything, so that way it could go insanely fast, so that way this is barely possible.
It's sure all that for some shit that nobody will ever use.
Yep. Makes sense.
It's
right?
okay. We'll let them all figure that out. You thought Sony would have by now, but Microsoft scared them into blinking.
Yeah, Microsoft also scared them into that fucking having their own stupid subscription tier.
Yep, Microsoft sure is the founding force behind a lot of horrible industry trends.
That worked out fine for Sony because it instantly ended up with twice as many subscribers as Game Pass.
I don't know that Microsoft scared them into Game Pass. I think Sony looked at their PlayStation Plus numbers and said, what if we had an even higher attachment? Like,
I don't know. I think the fact that completely in defiance of how many people actually subscribe to Game Pass, how much it gets talked about in the media, definitely probably gave them an incorrect impression.
Yeah.
And now all it does is it's a great place to put 3-year-old games and scam indies.
Yeehaw.
Sea of Stars out on both Game Pass and PS Plus Extra on day one. I sure hope you guys got a good deal, because you're selling fucking 0 copies on those 2 platforms.
They're just like, no, it's fine. We got enough money from the Kickstarter, right? Yeah. Oh no.
Oh no. That's it for my news. Hey Chris, let's go to yours.
So Xseed is publishing the console versions of Freedom Planet 2. They will be out this year. That's it.
Okay, hopefully it runs right.
I believe you.
Hopefully it runs right.
Yeah, I sure hope they looked at everybody shitting on River City Girls and is like, oh, we better not be that.
I feel like not enough people are shitting on River City Girls, but maybe.
Enough people shit on them at launch.
God, and that new version has been. Don't talk about River City Girls, Dan. Just don't do it. It's a losing game.
And so you know Hi-Rez Studios, they make Smite and Paladins and
Oh yeah, I know them.
Rogue Company.
Do we have any news about them?
Yeah, apparently their new voice actors contract explicitly is like, we're allowed to AI clone your voice if you die or otherwise incapacitated.
Oh, okay.
Which seems so vague that I have to assume if you just don't want to come back, they'll say fuck you and clone your voice.
Yeah, it also sounds like there's an NDA on the contract. So if you even look at the contract, you can't tell anyone about the contract. And
Yeah.
someone has broken it to get this out.
So the president of Hi-Rez has been coping and seething all over Twitter today because it leaked, and has been desperately coping and trying to explain. No, it's fine for us to puppet your corpse once you're dead. It's really important that we have your voice to use when we include Doge in another skin, and we have to have you reference that.
I'm just imagining the worst AI generated voice popular going, "Oh my God, is that Doge?" You're just like, who's saying that? Is that my character? Why does that keep happening?
Sorry, the only AI voice you're legally allowed to use is Microsoft Sam.
That's
That's
true.
it.
Yeah.
That's all you get.
That's the only AI voice you should legally be able to implement in things.
That and Dagoth You should be allowed to make internet memes using Dagoth but nothing monetized.
God, it's disgusting.
Yeah, no, this is horrible.
Yeah, these tech guys don't seem to fucking get how genuinely repellent I think the average person doesn't give a shit about AI voice usage in internet memes.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of voice actors are barking up the wrong tree trying to get mad at those. But the average person, if it's like, we're trying to monetize AI voices, like, no, die. Like, I don't think the average person has any tolerance for that at all.
Even on top of how just sickeningly greedy it is, it's just ghoulish.
Yeah.
The idea that you would have the authority to use the likeness of a dead person to make your shit.
Right. I mean, it is telling that in The Critic, they made a joke about what was it? Duke Vision, where they would just remaster old movies and have dead celebrities deliver happy endings.
Yeah, the Pride of the Yankees, or the Black Sox event where everybody got banned from playing. And it's like, in this moment, I'm the luckiest guy in the world. That's the movie where where he fixed it. And he's like, not only are you not getting banned from baseball, we cured your cancer. And they throw him like a vial, and he drinks it, and then hits a home run.
Oh, yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. It's
but
insane.
yeah, fuck Hi-Rez.
Yeah, fuck Hi-Rez.
Yeah, no,
Jesus Christ.
And Immortals of Aveum showed off their system requirements. You can't run it.
You
listener.
Through the monitor.
Yeah, you listener cannot run it. Dan Video Games is the only person in human history who can run this game.
And I simply would play it on PS5 instead. Let's run through it real quick, because it's easy enough to portray. Here's the low end, ladies and gentlemen. Do you have a 2080 Super or better? Well, that's good. You might be able to reach a 1080p 60 frames per second performance level.
If you have all their DLSS and fake frame bullshit turned on.
Yeah, it does literally say quality is up to
Which that should not be allowed for this.
Sorry, that's the future of gaming. Everyone's gonna talk about this is the resolution your game's running at, even though it's not running at that resolution, because it is running at a fourth that or 2/3 that.
Fucking, like, how many frames can you make? Like real frames or?
Right.
Like, I type a billion words a minute if it doesn't matter if they're the right fucking one.
If they form words, I've got some letters.
Man, best typist I've ever seen.
On the AMD side, they're saying a 5700 XT is what low also needs. And for CPUs, we're talking a 3700X or a 9700 i7 on the Intel side. Now for the high end, if you want to play gamer, if you would like to play at 4K 120 frames per second, let me tell you, do you have my GPU? Did you steal it from me? Then you probably don't have it, because you can't afford it, because I bought it and then I realized I couldn't afford it. This is the GPU you need for the Ultra experience, a 4090 or a 7900 XTX? Question mark? I'm not. Those are two different scales of GPU.
Making up GPUs at this point.
They've put a number for a future GPU AMD will release.
And on the CPU side, a 7950X R3D. Oh, I'm gonna have to fold. I do not have a CPU that good. Even I cannot play on this setting. Or a 13900 KS from Intel. I have a 5950X. Now, this is the gaming-oriented, has a slab of memory on it, AMD one. So it is hyper-specialized for gaming even. That's not even the normal AMD 79. It is the X3D version. So this is... Hey, gamer, did you make your PC this year?
Did you make it, in fact, to play Immortals of Aveum?
Did you?
If so, we have a game for you.
But according to this, I might be able to play the game at 4K, 60 frames per second plus.
Wow.
Yeah. But I'm going to play it on the PS5 because I don't trust PC gaming on a AAA side ever since Doom Eternal. It's only gotten worse since.
Yep.
So this game comes out in 5 days. It is hovering around 350th on the Steam global charts. It is being outsold by, not on sale at full price, Fate/Estella Link.
I mean, that sounds like a great game.
It really needs to sigil those numbers up. This is not looking good.
That's true. This seems sigiled down.
I think this might be the most expensive, just complete bomb. Like, nobody's talking about it. There's not even a narrative around it of it being bad, like the Saints Row reboot.
Right. It's just going into a black hole.
Yeah. Yeah, even though their bad EA stuff hasn't been this level of like, no, nobody even knows what it is.
Nobody knows what. You know why it has Destiny loot? We learned that. You know why? The spells are just guns reskinned.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. I mean, because they need to make their magic aim palatable to shooter guys. That'll work.
Well, aggro, don't you want to switch to the red magic, which is a shotgun, and then switch to the blue magic that's an assault rifle?
Resistance has more innovative weapons, and those are guns.
And those guns are more like spells.
Yes.
I was watching previews, and I just gave up when he did like the Doom Eternal-esque air dash, and he went afoot.
Yeah.
Our crazy mage can't do anything too cool.
I'm sorry, Ascendant Studios, I think, is the studio they put together to make this game. Your ass is gone.
Yeah, if they survive this, I will be.
There will not be
completely
another
shocked.
Ascendant Studios game. It sure is weird how, like, once per gen, for one brief period each gen, EA's like, we're going to put a bunch of money into single player games, but they have the worst possible tastemakers in the universe.
Uh-huh.
So they greenlight all the wrong things and they all bomb.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to play this after the Gamescom opening night live on Tuesday next week.
Yeah, that's true. We hit our sigil up stream goal, so we will
Will
be
it
sigilling up.
there? Will that be their final desperation move? Is having
absolutely.
it one last show?
Welcome to Opening Night Live. Buy our game, please.
I'm excited to play this game 2 years from now when it shows up on PlayStation for free.
Yeah, that's gonna happen. Hey, it'll show up 6 months from now on the extra tier.
Probably.
You know, I was like, isn't something way bigger in my life coming out that exact same week next week? And then I was ruminating on it. I was, that's right, Firewall Ultra 2, the tactical squad shooter for VR on PSVR 2 that has they announced co-op is now a thing. So you're going to go up against AI and stuff and do like competitive shooting co-op on the tactical level. And I'm just like, that's almost half the price at $40.
Isn't next week also Armored Core?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Dog pile when Aveum dies.
What did they? Oh God! They should have launched alongside Starfield because at least PlayStation people can't even access that. So there's one audience that wouldn't be distracted.
Oh yeah, you need that cope social media presence. No, Avium's really good. I don't fucking need Starfield.
The only person who wouldn't admit Avium's good are all these stupid fucking ex-bros.
I'm sorry, that would mean that they're launching next to Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah, see, Baldur's Gate 3 is going to be the game that like people coping they can't play Starfield latch onto, and thankfully they'll get to play a much better game.
Right.
Do you think there might be a problem for other studios if they're compared to Baldur's Gate 3? I feel like there's nothing that could go wrong on that front.
Yeah, I have to say, I said this on Twitter, but I have to say it here too. Like, if we're looking at the grand scale of will this game make lives for other developers hell? Starfield is so much more likely to be that game than Baldur's Gate 3. No executive is going to come down to your studio and ruin your life for 4 years because Baldur's Gate 3 has RPG mechanics and good character writing. They will do that when people post videos saying, I put this coffee cup here and went across the universe and came back and it was still there.
Yep. I found all this funny. I heard the weirdest takes in the world, which was just like, they made a lot of other games and then they got to make Baldur's Gate 3, and Baldur's Gate 2 was such a huge game and so important. I'm like, forever ago. It's like they had such a, they got to sell the game early with early access, so that way they got all this funding, and I'm like, oh yeah, if only Baldur's Gate 3 had as much money as AAA games.
Yeah, the worst take I saw was it's not reasonable to expect other devs to make games this good. They haven't got as much chance to iterate. And I'm like, that's not my fault.
Right. That is.
I didn't go down to EA and force them to tell them to have BioWare make Anthem instead of anything they knew how to make.
I told Bob one of my first takes when I came over and this was happening, and I was like, man, I heard some people who were talking about like, oh, you can't expect all these games to be developed in early access. And I'm like, yeah, not every game does that work for. Like Tears of the Kingdom, that wouldn't have been a good match. But I sure wish Dragon Age was doing that method, because then it might come out. Yeah.
Oh, I completely forgot to fucking talk about KOTOR. Oh, well, I'll talk about it next week. I haven't beaten it yet, so I'll talk about it next week. Although I will say it is funny how small that game is in terms of areas. And yet it's still fine. If only we didn't have to have games that were bigger than a continent.
Well, that's it for Chris's news. Aggro, how you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good.
Okay, cool. Hey, Bob.
I got Trails of Cold Steel downloaded on my console.
Yeah,
so can't wait to go play it.
Yes!
Oh, well, I get to play mini golf. Bob. Let's hit these nerds over the head with a Call of Duty block out of the gate.
Now?
Yes,
all right.
I crave it. I crave the Call of Duty block.
They did a big reveal. Their Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 gameplay reveal.
So it now exists. Before now, no.
No. At launch, this will have 16 maps from the original Modern Warfare 2.
Well, here it says all 16.
Yeah, all 16 maps.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Modernized with new modes and gameplay features.
Hey, why weren't those maps in Modern Warfare 2 Remake?
Yeah. What do you mean now?
It has been such a weird experience looking at the shift for Modern Warfare 3 and be like, oh, hey, that thing I wanted last year when I spent $70.
Yes. Incentives had
when
no
you spent
maps.
$70 on that other game that didn't have any of the shit in it. Why would they sell you this game once when they could sell it to your dumbass twice?
It's just so fucking weird, because Modern Warfare 1 Remake is ostensibly a remake of Modern Warfare 1.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what fucking happened and who got the good shit to smoke that resulted in last year's Modern Warfare 2 Remake. But it's fucking strange to look at Modern Warfare 3 and just be like, it's that game. So, of course, I'm showing up with $70 more. And probably trading it in the next day.
Right.
Who knows? Maybe this year will be good.
Maybe
this year will be good.
One thing that apparently won't be changing is the way you unlock stuff, I guess, isn't changing too much, because for the first time in Call of Duty history, a vast amount of content from previous Modern Warfare 2 game will transfer.
Oh, wow.
And carry forward.
Huh.
Oh.
So you'll get a lot of weapons, operators, and other stuff you unlock in Modern Warfare 2.
Wow, this is literally just... We didn't want to charge $30 or however much for this DLC, so it's going to be a full game at $70.
I mean, it literally, this is the ODST.
Yeah.
Where this was supposed to be a DLC thing where the actual Modern Warfare 2 experience lived. And they were going to sell it to buyers of last year's game. Then this year's game disappeared and they said, juice it with a shitload of money. It's a full $70 game now. And I'm like, good. Yeah, fine. Sure.
Yeah,
Fuck last year's game.
I'm still the last year's game didn't have a single map remade from Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah.
That was insane. Instead, we had nothing but terrible multiplayer maps.
I was sitting here going, was there like one? And I just forgot and just staring into the middle distance. But yeah. Yeah, the last year.
There are going to be new missions in the campaign, which they said is still going to have, regular Call of Duty campaign stuff. But they now have open combat missions that you can tackle in your own way. Which makes me just think, these were Warzone maps, weren't they?
Really? I'm sitting here and I'm like, this kind of sounds like a Spec Ops. You remember they had the Spec Ops thing in the original Modern Warfare 2. Another thing that was not in last year's game. And, it was like, hey, here's your goal. Accomplish this mission. There are multiple tiers of succeeding. So you can get 3 stars, 2 star, 1 star, or die.
It sounds more like this is just integrated into the story mode. Like it'll be some maps. Some missions are like this, where you can you need to infiltrate this base. You can do it stealthily. You can run gun inside to it.
Interesting.
It might be good.
Yeah.
It just does make me think you don't know how to design a campaign anymore. So make a Warzone map. See,
to me, it almost sounds like an evolution of the arcade mode. Where if you remember before, it was just like, here are points.
Right.
So this is another way to gamify it, to just give you a little bit of tools. But you're probably right. We're probably going to boot this fucking game and everything's a fucking Warzone map and absolutely massive like last year's game.
Right. It doesn't have a clear direction to it and doesn't feel good, but hopefully not.
We're hoping not, because we'll be there.
Yes, we will be there.
Because Bob and I play Call of Duty and I will never stop being... Human Torch levels of on fire pissed that the moment I got enough money to get Call of Duties anywhere near an annual basis, they stopped making good ones.
There is a zombies mode again. It is back. It's made by Treyarch.
That's cool.
It does just feel like, man, I hope that they're actually being able to make their game, because their last game was the actual good Call of Duty.
Yeah, it was, which is weird. Because we were not Treyarch fans early on.
No.
But Cold War was really fucking good.
It's the only one that uses the adaptive triggers right at all. So this is a new zombies mode with some open world design. Let me read their full blurb about it.
Ooh.
Players will experience an open world player versus environment extraction survival experience with core zombie features. Yeah.
They're making
an extraction shooter. Whatever that is.
This is a fucking prototype for them doing like a Warzone type thing, but extraction. We're gonna see extraction shooters not take off on console because like 5 will show up at once and all kill each other.
This is insane. Why is this?
I don't know.
All right.
But you apparently fight big monsters and stuff.
Yeah.
I think an open world zombie thing could be neat.
It could.
I don't know what to expect. I don't understand what this genre is yet.
A lot of these are like kind of insane to read, but it could be good. So, man, the risk has never been higher than this year's Call of Duty.
And this is my favorite bullet.
Okay.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 is published by Activision, a wholly owned subsidiary of Activision Blizzard, NASDAQ ATVI.
Yeah.
Development for the game is led by Sledgehammer Games in partnership with Infinity Ward. Development for Modern Warfare Zombies is led by Treyarch, working closely with Sledgehammer Games. Additional development support provided in alphabetical order by Activision Central Design, Activision Central Technology, Activision QA, Activision Shanghai, Beanox, Demonware, High Moon Studios, Raven Software, and Toys for Bob.
Why did they
They're fucked.
Why would you ever put this out?
Why is this a bullet? I don't know.
Why would you ever list every company making a Call of Duty and what they're making on it? Who wants that? It's like, hey, tell me all the bodies again.
So a reminder that we are not told yet. It's fine. Everything is fine.
All right. Thanks, Activision. Thank you for the Call of Duty minute, Bob.
No problem.
You got some other news?
Sure. Jeff Keeley let us know not to get too excited for Gamescom next week.
I'm sorry, I'm already too excited because if Gamescom, opening night live is bad, it's just gonna improve the ramp up to Immortals of Aveum.
That's right.
Yeah, baby.
But it's just it'll be mostly updates for upcoming games we know about that are not reveals, not new reveals.
Okay. Well, I hate new games.
Yeah, everyone hates.
That's why I keep my eye on the news.
Lollipop Chainsaw Remaster now has a title. It's Lollipop Chainsaw Repop.
Okay.
It comes out next year, which apparently is a delay. I guess at some point they said it was coming out this year.
Yeah, they did, and I think they may have even announced the delay sooner, but not with a name. I don't know.
Titan Quest 2 got announced. No release date. They just did a CG trailer and released some screenshots, but I'm excited. Titan's Quest, for people who don't know, is a Diablo-like, and the first one was actually a lot of fun.
Yeah, when Bob said this, I had a moment of, is Bob wrong? Is my brain wrong? Because what he just communicated cannot be true. It is 2023.
Right?
What do you mean Titan's Quest 2?
Yeah. 2. I think they've been doing like expansion packs for one. Yeah. For 20 years or something.
Right, yeah. I'm like, the game came out like 19 years ago, right? What?
I believe this is Embracer again. They just have the rights, so...
That's really funny. Okay.
Yeah, that's hype. I really want to know when this comes out, because it's really easy to, in fact, be a much better Diablo sequel than Diablo 4.
I don't know. I need an open world I walk around.
Yeah, that's so great. It definitely didn't make me just be like, oh, what act are we on, Steve?
We're on Act 4. This is when it really picks up, and Bob's like, okay. If you promise, I'll trust you.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Shredder's Revenge,
DLC called
Dimension Shell Shock launches August 31st. So we have a date for it and a name for it now. Before we just knew that Miyamoto Usagi was coming.
Yes.
But now we know it's also going to include the character from TMT called Karai. I'm pretty sure that's how they say it.
That's what they wrote.
That's what they wrote. I think it's Karai.
Okay.
Yeah, Karai. Yeah.
All right. Who's some ninja girl from the Foot Clan, I guess.
Shredder's daughter.
Okay. They're adding a survival mode. New
She was
music.
in the CG TMNT movie.
I watched
2003 series
when it came out in theaters.
Yeah, that was.
And that is it.
That was a little while ago. Let me check. Oh, that's as old as Titan Quest.
So that's neat. She looked cool.
Mm-hmm.
They showed a trailer for her and said the release date. So hey, more stuff for that game.
Yeah, no, that's cool as shit.
Right.
I'm excited.
I'm hopeful that survival mode's neat. The survival mode in Streets of Rage was pretty cool. Alan Wake 2 got delayed till October 27th. It did a 10-day delay to avoid large October releases. It's now 2 days after the new Alone in the Dark. Which, that wasn't going to sell anyway, but yeah. I'm sure that they're not too happy about it being right that close proximity.
Yeah, that's understandable. Chris has disappeared from the stream.
Oh, no.
Visually. I don't know about audio-wise. I haven't checked on that. Hey, Chris, can you hear us?
Oh, no.
Oh, well.
Whoops.
We carry on bravely, boldly.
Yes. I looked up the October releases, like, oh, it's Spider-Man. Okay.
Yeah, of course.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Like, dude, no. Just no.
Assassin's Creed Mirage also mysteriously moving its release date a week earlier to October 5th to also stay away from Spider-Man.
They just hear the whistling getting louder and everybody's scrambling out of the way.
It's like, oh, is this a big new Sony game?
Oh, wait. Is that fucking Spider-Man? How are we feeling on Assassin's Creed Mirage since we're so close? We got like a month and a half.
I'm probably going to pick it up. I want to encourage them doing this exact kind of Assassin's Creed because I liked these when they were like this.
Yeah.
And that character looks cool. Mm-hmm. The setting's neat. Mm-hmm. And it's only $50. Like they're trying to do their best to get me in.
Right? Like everything's... I'm deeply worried it's a lie.
Mm-hmm.
They're telling me exactly what I want and then... they're still on their bullshit and this is a trap.
Yeah. Yeah, that's absolutely a huge fear.
Yeah, I'm kind of worried about that too. So I guess when you get it, we should just like do a small stream or something, so that way
Probably.
everyone can know. Because I want to know.
Yeah, I think everybody wants to know.
Yeah.
And then I can trade it in the next day if it is. Hey, we made Origins again. It's
That's
like,
true.
no, I'm sorry, that's not what I was here for.
That's not what you said this
I'm
was.
alive again.
Yay!
Welcome
Rise
back.
from your grave. We don't have video feed yet, but I can hear you and I can see you're there.
And first time with Big Think Live, we've had Chris die.
And still, that went pretty well.
Yeah, not too bad.
There we go.
I'm alive again.
Hooray! Rise from your grave. Can I steal this?
Yeah, sure.
Tekken 6 and Soul Calibur Broken Destiny have been apparently rated for the PS5 and PS4 in Taiwan. That means they're going to be on that PlayStation Plus shit with the backup patch. Chances are you could maybe buy that separately. I don't know. Namco's been weird in the past, whether or not it was for sale separately. Here's my problem. Tekken 5 Dark Resurrection on the PSP has that really, really cool mode where you go to dojos or whatever, and it's just like based on AI as of real players, and you get to make your own outfit and all that cool stuff. I don't think 6 has that mode, and I need to find out.
Yeah, I don't think it does. And it was like, no, Tekken 6, you need to, I'm sorry, you need to get PS3 working. Otherwise, don't bring it to us.
I mean, that would be pretty cool.
I think 6 did have player AI combatants, I think. Because it had that one panda that was just a fucking nightmare. Just you'd be playing Tekken 6 and like, this is a lot of fun. I'm playing against player data. That's weird. And then this panda would just show up. No.
Does it have the story mode? Do you know? Like, because Tekken 6 on console does have like a full, like,
It doesn't.
weird story mode.
Somebody was saying it doesn't have that, and I'm like, yeah, because it's a beat 'em up. But maybe it has something where they tried to tell the story of that through it. I don't know.
That'd be nice, because I think the story of 6 is interesting.
I think it's just neat.
And it gives you Lara's backstory and gets you a platinum really easily.
Ooh. And yet I never broke down and did that. Weird. Yeah, I do wonder how this is going to be. For people who don't know about Soul Calibur Broken Destiny, it has Kratos.
It does.
That's it. That's all I have to tell you about that.
I keep thinking it's that fucked up Wii game that's like an action game.
Legends?
I think that's
the name of
right.
it. Soul Calibur Legends?
I can't remember.
Chat, feel free to correct. I've been looking forward to playing that forever. In fact, that was our the Wii Ruined Everything theme month that was potentially there for... Okay, what happened?
What
I
happened?
think we're fractaling.
I don't know what is... One moment, I've come to
Yeah, I don't know
bargain.
what's happening.
The Dormammu. Apparently, your stream dropped long enough for it to just be like, oh, I'm going to show... Anyway. What the hell was I saying?
The We Ruined Everything theme.
Oh,
month?
yeah, it was a part of the We Ruined Everything theme month because I'm really, really curious about Soul Calibur Legends. Because for people who don't know, you play Siegfried and the Wiimote's your sword.
Yeah.
I could have sworn you played it as Ivy for some parts of it because it's like, oh, now it's a chain sword.
I think that
Maybe.
I think that it is multiple characters, but the main one is Siegfried.
Ooh.
Yeah, at some point we need to play all the terrible fighting game spin-offs like that, and
Yeah.
you know, the PS2 ones you don't
Death
talk
by
about.
degrees.
It wasn't. You don't say the name. Make it
Would
real.
that also include Virtua Quest? That game's apparently only like 7 hours long.
I always wanted to play Virtua Quest. I almost bought it at a GameStop so many times I lost count. Every time I walked in, it was just there, and I was like, no, not this time.
And then you can play Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks. Be like, what the fuck, Ed Boon? Why haven't you made a remaster of Shaolin Monks? People have been asking for 15 years.
Yeah, there's no happy ending to that stream. It's either we're fucking pissed at him for not making a new one, or we're fucking pissed that the game sucked.
As we sit here waiting for all the HDMI PS2 mods and everything to come through to play it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think there was an Xbox version. I might be wrong.
There is.
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
sure. Pretty sure. And we have the HDMI out for the Xbox.
We don't have like one good Xbox controller.
No, that's not true.
Oh yeah,
You forgot that fan sent us a box
That's
full.
true. That's
Yeah.
true.
We were like, awesome! We have so many Xbox S controllers,
Mm-hmm.
and then like it turns out there aren't that many games on the Xbox. original that are like hugely important. Like, what is it? Panzer Dragoon Orta, Crazy Taxi, some Bujing or not Bujingai, the Otogi 1 and 2,
and of course Hunters the Reckoning.
Of course, Bob. I didn't forget about Hunters the Reckoning, the hit Xbox title my brother bought instead of Halo. Instead of Halo. I love my brother, but to this day, I have no idea how the fuck he did that.
That's fine. We'll just rent Halo every week. We do that for some reason.
Yeah. Yeah, we did rent Halo way too many times. Anyway, that's one might say the only reason I eventually traded in my GameCube for an Xbox is because my brother did not buy the right game. Otherwise, I could have played Halo on his box, theoretically. Instead, it's like, fine, I'll fucking buy an Xbox and buy the correct game instead of Hunters the Reckoning.
I keep getting that confused with Hunted the Demon Forge.
They're the same tier.
They are very similar.
They are.
I think Hunted the Demon Forge is a Gears ripoff where you have a bow.
I think there's a bow guy and a sword guy, or a bow girl and a sword guy.
In Hunters the Reckoning?
No, and Demons,
okay.
in the one Chris is
see how
about.
I had to ask?
Exactly.
Oh God, In Exile made that. Ugh. I guess that counts as a Microsoft first-party title now.
Which is why it's on back and patch.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway. What? Oh, right.
Should I go back to him?
Well, we yeah. Let's do the rest of the news.
Sure. DC Universe Online's getting a PS5 and Xbox Series update this holiday season. What?
Bob,
I didn't think this game was real anymore.
Your news articles are terrible April Fool's jokes.
Right?
There's a Titan's Quest 2 coming out, and they're updating DCUO to come to the PS5, and I'm like, where's Jim Lee?
Yeah, this is
stage. I need to get
This
hyped.
is one of those things that I've never seen a single person play or talk about.
Yeah. I forgot about it so hard. My brain went, you mean City of Heroes?
Yeah, I played this
I know
game,
anybody
even.
who ever played City of Heroes, but I know nobody who ever played DC Universe Online.
One of us played it. You played it, right?
I booted it and I played like the first mission or something back when it came out on PS3.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this doesn't work on a console at all.
Yeah, that's how it felt.
I could have sworn they shut this game down.
Yeah,
like
me
5
too.
years ago or something.
I'm so confused.
I guess not.
News this week is very small but very weird.
Yes.
What else do you got?
So Steve Totillo, formerly of Kotaku, currently of Axios, claims that the Embracer Group deal that fell through a few months ago was with Savvy Games Group, which is a Saudi Arabia government-funded group.
So for people who don't know, that deal falling through was the thing where the CEO had a meltdown on a talk show, like an interview right after that. He's just like, I don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah, he almost just burst into tears. It was
Yeah,
It's never been so over.
No.
And it's worth noting, this is one of those like shadow companies that tries to stay out of the light, because this is like the story about them splitting off this deal is like the first Google result. You can't find out anything else about them almost.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Like they don't make anything; they just invest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think that they only started investing recently too, like within the last few years.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck were they gonna make for them?
Money?
It sounds
Money,
like everything.
Yeah.
Like just whatever.
But wouldn't they just buy part of like buy stock then? Like the way it's phrased is so strange.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I
But it's
wonder what made it
interesting.
fall through.
Yeah.
Yeah, something must have happened there. Which Embracer, does anyone remember what country they're in? Because I don't remember.
They're in one of those Nordic countries.
Yeah, that's about as much as I remembered.
because when
Finland?
they're in Sweden.
Okay.
Because that was one of the things where everybody's like, they sold Tomb Raider to Amazon for $600 million. They got double what they paid for all that stuff. And then somebody came out and was like, no, that's in Swedish currency. It was like $60 million.
Oh, Swedish currency. You mean sex? Swedish krona? We got a lot of that on Mega Man Maker Live back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
That's sweet. Swedish krona. That's interesting and makes it make sense because the scale of money lines up then.
Right, because the only other people with that scale of money were like Microsoft. And
Right.
it's like, doesn't seem like it's
Right.
It was just a short list.
Sony. Like, we entertained the possibility that Sony signed some make Unreal 4 remakes of all our shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is how you would use them if you were Sony, where it's just like you're The Last of Us Part 1 B tier group for
Right.
all of our IP.
Make weird looking versions of every Sly game.
We forgot how to do anything but the most high-end shit. We need someone to fill out a mid-tier.
They sure fucking do. Oh man. Hey, I have a question. You know that game that's coming out from Sony later this year that's like a sci-fi thing and it's a co-op shooter and it's clearly coming out later this year, but they still haven't announced a firm date? Bob, do you know what game I'm talking about? Aggro, do you know what game I'm talking about?
From Sony?
Yeah, it's a third-person Sony shooter with online co-op and it's sci-fi.
It's Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, Spider-Man.
Battle Dogs. Flame Hounds.
Helldiver.
Yeah, Helldivers too.
Oh, I completely fucking forgot that game existed. I was like,
Yeah.
is Dan trying to lead me to Concord? Is he trying to lead me to...
Yeah, no, everyone did. I'm just curious, could they have made that game look a little worse and run perfectly in its trailer so I would have been scared? What? Flame Dogs? Or?
I know exactly what he meant. I don't know how.
We're getting close to that giant bomb bit where the guy can't remember the villain of that one fucking movie and starts going, Fire Guy!
Yeah, Helldivers, it's weird how Helldivers feels like it's been pressured to be an insanely high-end looking game, and I don't think it's fit for that.
It absolutely isn't. It's hideous.
It's weird that they're also making it third person when the last one was like a top-down third person isometric. Sony
I'm
really
still like,
needs
it's
a
this
middle
year? What are
tier.
you talking
Yeah,
about?
it's this year. I think it even leaked on accident that it was supposed to. Because if you recall, we were supposed to get the trailer we got in the middle of this year, late last year.
That's true. God, there was some other trailer that leaked. It was like, that's clearly not Helldivers 2.
Oh yeah, that was The Goo or something is what the code name that came out about it was, where it was some weird, like horrible, like disintegrating green mass or something. I actually didn't watch this trailer myself, but the importance there was they were working through some external studio in Europe using XDev. Yeah, I'm sure someone somewhere remembers, but yeah, no, we haven't heard anything about that either.
Yeah.
These games sure do take forever to come out. That must be healthy.
Yeah. We can't fix it.
But what Sakurai said things can't get more complicated, but what if we made them more complicated? That'd be pretty cool, right? Huh?
Okay, we got 300 of you in this room. You're going to bug test how the foliage moves in this one area for 6 months.
Yeah, no, that's terrible.
Will anybody notice? No.
No.
Will anybody care? No.
Definitely
Kroby Cat
no.
will do a video about it and pretend he cares, but he doesn't actually care.
But that's it for news. I guess it's time to talk about what we've got going on. Bob and I are streaming tomorrow. Hey, Dr. Aggro, what are you doing?
I downloaded Trails of Cold Steel, and I'm gonna go see.
Yeah, let's go.
That whole section of the population. I have been getting the weirdest fucking replies on Twitter.
Yeah, of course.
I'm like, I'm getting a lot of encouragement and a lot of, I don't know what any of this means yet, you guys.
You opened the door. Do you know who you invited in?
God, that game is filled with isekai level character designs all over it.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
it is.
Like Falcom's entire thing is we're just gonna rip off contemporary anime. That's the way JRPGs have always been made, and the reason the genre got bad is because they quit doing that.
It's not wrong.
Hey Chris, what are you up to in the next week?
I will finish co-streaming KOTOR.
That's great.
I might have done something that soft locked me forever right before the end of the game.
Ooh.
Love
so we'll
those.
find out if that's real. I have no idea. So people in chat are like, you did this weird side quest. Whenever I do that weird side quest, it soft locks me 10 hours later into the game.
Oh.
And this is the original console version of the game on Xbox of KOTOR, so I could believe that happening. But I've never heard of that specific thing causing it. So who knows? Either way, it will be a funny ending to that saga.
You will be done with it.
I'm very excited because, a lot of the times, not saying this is the case this time, but a lot of the times you go live on Saturday. Maybe, since to relax after all these RPG streams, which are so large and I barely had time to do anything, I can yet again go to my favorite local poke place, sit down with my cell phone and blast out of the speakers a man yelling how great Jedi aren't real.
Yeah, Grey Jedi aren't real. They're not. They're something the fan base made up. They're not real. Qui-Gon Jinn is not a Grey Jedi. He's a light side Jedi who hates organized religion. That is not a separate class. Jolie Bindo is not a Grey Jedi. Luke in fucking The Last Jedi is not a Grey Jedi. Never let the term Grey Jedi come from your mouths again unless it is part of the statement. There is no such thing as a Grey Jedi.
Preach.
The Grey Jedi are a term that podcasters wouldn't tell you about.
So you're moving on to the Old Republic MMO next, right?
I tried that once and no.
Oh yeah, we are streaming Gamescom.
That's true. Opening night live. That's going to happen this upcoming Tuesday. Don't ask me for a time because I don't know, but it will be announced in the GigaBoots fan Discord. There's always a link to the Discord in the description, and you can sign up just to get notifications for the streams because Twitch is so bad about telling people.
Yes.
So feel
And then
free
afterwards,
to do
you
that.
guys are going to sigil up, right?
That's true.
Absolutely.
We're going to be sigiling so hard.
So many sigils.
There's so many sigils. Some of them might even be
What are you-
racist. I don't know.
What are you guys? What are you guys gonna do if you go to GameStop to get that game and they're like, we didn't get any copies of this? What are you talking about?
We'll probably
We're
go.
going to stream Jedi Knight 2. This is it. This is a game. I don't know why Yoda's here. It's fucking weird. This can't be legal.
Wild. I guess that's where all that money went.
Making games nowadays is so expensive. We all have to license Star Wars.
It's gotten so much worse after Disney bought Star Wars. Now we have to license to them instead of George Lucas, who was kind.
George was so nice. She was so nice. Anyways, that's gonna do it for Big Thing this week. See you next Tuesday, gamers, for opening night live and sigiling up, and also probably tomorrow with something, and also a Chris stream. Okay, goodbye. Thank you very much for listening to this episode of Big Think Dimension. Big Think Dimension is only possible because of you and your support over at patreon.com/gbpodcast, where you can get access to the movie Isolation 119, various extras from all of our podcasts, and early access to Chugging Bleach and Pokemon Go to the Movies. You can learn about that sassy baby guacamole bowl today over at patreon.com/gbpodcast.